Welcome back to the show. The show. I gotta think of better names for this, but I'm thinking the show about a dill in an ocean of dillery in the Southwest. But welcome to the show. I was kind of laughing right before I went live. There was a little like warning or comment on the live chat, which I don't even have anyone in it, so very pointless. But it was basically saying, "Don't be mean." I thought that was funny. They know what goes on in the live chats around these parts. Not in this show because there's no one. I mean, in real shows and actual shows. But this is the show compared to the real shows. Just this is kind of not going to be like the weekly thing I'm trying to do, but I just wanted to check. I'm trying to get in the habit. So this is the second show. It's gonna be it's gonna be a long haul. At a busy day. It's not that late, but I feel it in my soul, in my heart, that it's late. But anyway, I wanted to touch on nutrition. I had a person I know in real life. I don't know if I asked him or he just told me, but he said talk about nutrition. Because in my friend groups, I guess I'm known as a pretty radical nutrition guy, even though compared to the internet, I feel like I'm pretty tame. And I don't even have any special features. Some people like they have diet stuff and they're jacked or regrew their beard or their head hair, or they grew 7 inches by eating mushrooms or something like that. I never did any of that. um I did some basic healing stuff, stomach problems, skin problems, nothing crazy though. And I mean I've regrown my hair, I guess, once on accident back. Now I'll probably have to do that again because I'm balding again. So it's round two. But I'm not a guru. I don't know guru, guru. I'm not a guru. I'm not the best person to talk about this. There's definitely people that are better on the internet. I'm gonna mention some people that are not on the internet. They're all dead actually. So they're on the internet in the sense that their work lives on, but they have deceased. They are dead. They are in the ground. So I think that's going to be just the major part of the show. I'm also going to briefly touch on, to start off, I want to touch on this is not going to be about nutrition, but my main thoughts of this week leading into maybe the weekly show is that like women are actually crazy. And I know there's so many better people to talk about this. But I feel if I made this show just about how like crazy women are and how wrong we have them. Not, I'm not trying to be on a high horse here. I can simp sometimes. I'm not immune. I'm not immune to that. But my goodness, just the day I've had and the week I've had, I'm like, it's the women. It's the women. But there are better people, but I had to mention that. It's just so crazy. Yeah, if I spent this whole show just talking about that, it wouldn't be a waste, I don't think. But anyway, we're gonna get into nutrition. First, I want to talk about when people ask me about nutrition, they always ask me like, "What about nutrition?" And I'm like, "That's not very specific. There's a lot of reasons you could want to know more about nutrition. So many reasons. The biggest one I always hear, which I think are maybe the two dumbest, are I want to gain weight or I want to lose weight. And for me, I'm wondering, is it just for the sake of that or is it a health also issue? I'm assuming you want to look better. That's probably more accurate. People don't want to say that I want to be hotter, I want to look better naked. But usually it's like I want to gain weight, I want to lose weight. There's other stuff too, diseases, obviously. Energy is a big one, which is generally health, overall health related, I think. Some people want to live forever. I don't understand that. We're all gonna die. People gotta. I gotta accept it. Everyone's gotta accept it. We're all gonna die. But basically, you have to figure out what the reason first is for you wanting to improve your health. If you don't have a good reason, Maybe I don't even know if this is true, but it seems to me if you don't have a good reason, you're not gonna do anything. And most people, even if they have a good reason, they're not gonna do anything. There's no discipline anymore, or maybe there never was. I'm not sure. I feel like the monks were disciplined, but maybe not. But there's no discipline, so people need to learn discipline. Fasting and eating healthy is a good way. I would say fasting more is a good way of learning discipline. But it's good to have a motive, I think. For myself, it's been helpful. Once I have a motive, I can just kick back. So, a couple times in my life since I went on a nutrition journey, I got what I wanted, and once I got what I wanted, I just went back to whatever I was eating before until something breaks, and then you go back. But yeah, motive is important. And then I just wanted to mention if you're starting a nutrition journey or you're ill right now, if you're ill, shout out to you that you're ill. It's actually a gift from God, I think personally. Everything's a gift from God. But my illness, my original illness was a gift from God. It changed my whole life. So if you can look at it that way, that might be helpful. But if you're ill, you're dealing with some problem or something, I would say I can start you out in the right direction, but there's way better people to help you. So keep looking. But I'm going to point to three specific people in the past that were kind of huge in my journey. Like I mentioned, they're all dead. I'll just get right into them. The first one is Weston A. Price. And if you know anything about nutrition or anything, if you are literate, if you read books, you should know about Weston A. Price. He was a dentist, 1900s. Did a bunch of research, wasn't on purpose originally, but he did a bunch of research on different peoples living kind of outside of industrial modern civilization that were really healthy, even though they didn't have any of the modern comforts of life. And he was a dentist, so he always mentioned perfect teeth. They had nice teeth. There's pictures. I know people was like, I don't believe it. There's pictures. And you can look up his book. I believe it's called Nutrition and Physical Degradation. Recommend reading it. It's free online. There's no excuses. Honestly, just buy a physical copy. Support his foundation that's still around. I don't know if he started it, but it's called the Weston A. Price Foundation. It's also a good source. They're kind of weird now. I don't think they're really following him exactly, but the nutrition stuff is still generally on point. They support like raw dairy, meat, raw to a certain extent, different other types of traditional. I don't even know if necessarily traditional because there's some traditional societies that were super unhealthy. Um, but stuff he learned from his research, they include that in there. So they're kind of all right. So that's Weston A. Price, the book I mentioned. Get reading. There's no person that can just explain everything to you. You're gonna have to read. You're gonna have to learn how to read. There's no way around it. You have to read a book. You have to learn how to read. Everyone has to learn how to read. It's just what has to happen. The second person is Dr. Pottinger, and you might have heard of him if you've read a book. Pottinger's Cats is usually what it's called, I believe. And this was this huge experiment. I think it was 10 years long. He did with cats. Have one group eating cooked meat, have one group eating raw meat, seeing the results of that. There's a lot of different things that happened, but one of the things that happened was the cats that were eating cooked meat, they became um, unable to reproduce after 2 or 3 generations, and the raw meat cats were obviously fine. Maybe not obviously to you, but they were fine. That's a huge that's a huge thing. Definitely worth looking into. Again, you're gonna have to read about that if you want. He's kind of I've seen in like semi-mainstream media, they've been trying to kind of get him, kind of demonize him, which is super interesting. I wonder what that's all about. Um, I think it might have been in like his Wikipedia page too. They were saying he was like a pseudo doctor, pseudoscientist or something. That was a long time ago that I was reading that. Sorry, I did not prepare for this video. It's just off the dome right now, but these three guys are solid. The last one is probably the most controversial of the three. He died recently in 2013, I believe, from an accident. Some people believe he was murdered. I don't know, and nor am I going to try to find out whether he was murdered or not. He's probably one of the most solid people. He's definitely a pioneer in the game. A lot of people nowadays that talk about nutrition and actually know stuff, I'm fairly certain they're just pirating most of his stuff. And I don't like I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna pretend. He's the guy. He is the guy. But he has a whole 2 books that are very popular. He has more than that, though. They're always floating around. The 2 main books I know are online for free. The other ones, I'm not sure, but the 2 main ones are, oh, shoot. The first one's We Want to Live, and the other one's actually a cookbook mostly, but it has a lot of good information. It's technically not a cookbook because 'cause you're not really cooking anything, but it is called The Recipe for Living Without Disease, I believe. Little red book with, like, a spiral kinda binding, which it's a cookbook. And he tells his whole not his whole life story, but a lot of his life story in We Want to Live. Very interesting guy. Kinda went through the ringer, and that's how he's able to help us today. And I really believe that, like, people that go through things, if they don't let that break them, those are the people that can really teach us stuff. The saints, obviously, they go through things, and they're the ones that can teach us about the way to God. But yeah, Augenis Vonderplanet's not his original real name, obviously a very strange name. Look up his books, read them. I'm not gonna say 100% agree with his stuff, but he definitely knew more than me, so I'm not gonna even pretend that I'm right. But as far as I know, some of the stuff, I'm like, I don't know. He's like very against drinking water. He's not really, but he's like, don't drink too much water. Like, I don't know. Maybe yeah, there's you can drink too much of it. But yeah, those are the 3 I would start out with. That will get you on the roller coaster ride of all the different health stuff. And I would also a little warning at the end here. Don't let it consume your life. I heard someone out talking about this is like it's best when it's just in the background of your life. It just becomes a habit and you don't even think about it. It's just been absorbed by you into your daily routine and your daily values. Like first principles, a lot of stuff that we don't even think about every day. If these become part of that, that's the best way maybe to go about this. There's some people, I've been it as well as like zealots where it's like all you can talk about. Especially in the beginning. It's like people are like, how's your day going? Like, have you ever eaten raw meat, dude? Have you done it? And they're like, that's so random. I don't even know why you said that. But maybe you can't help it. Maybe we know none of us can help it. But yeah, those are the 3 things. Watch out for women, and then those 3 guys for nutrition. Hopefully that's helpful. You gotta start your own journey. If there's specific questions I ever get in, like, the future in, like, 5 years when I have a subscriber, I will definitely try to answer them. But as far as general goes, people just gotta learn how to read. We're learning how to read. That's my biggest advice. That's all I have tonight. It's probably pretty quick. I'm gonna try to keep these things quick for the most part. But hopefully that's helpful. Take take what you can, give nothing back. God bless you. I will see you next time. If I know how to end the stream, there it is.